All right, gentlemen, thanks for that. We'll keep coming back to you all to get an updated call on the index as well as on various stocks. But let's focus on our special momentumizer segment then. Well, Suzlon, that was one stock that was buzzing in Friday's trading session and ended with a gain of close to around 8% or thereabouts. So good move is what we saw. I was looking at the high as well as the low for this year itself, and it's bang in the middle at around 80 rupees 50 paise. The high earlier this year was in Jan, it was at around 12 rupees, and the low was in July at around 5 rupees 40 paise odd. Now, also, if you look at the traded data and the delivery data, well, volumes were massive. That's the, traded data on the NSE. It was more than 5 times of what we have seen in the previous 10 trading sessions. And it is the highest that we've seen all the way since October 20th. Even in delivery data, close to 7.5 crore shares did get, delivered. And normally you're seeing an average of less than 2 crore shares odd. So massive delivery, massive volumes as well. That's what backed the up move. Now, the stock did move well. But that the 200 DMA, that will be a bit of a resistance zone at around 8.7, 8 rupees 70 paise odd. It conquered, the 20 as well as the 50 DMA in the last few sessions. So let's see whether or not it has enough on it. But we just thought we'll spot this one because it was moving with good momentum in Friday's session. Prakash, Suzlon, they're talking about repaying debt. They're talking about things on the mend at around 80 rupees 70 paise, 80 rupees 50 paise. Will you be looking at it?
Interesting pick, Nigel. So, I just want to add one thing that companies like Suzlon, which have at least their business recovering dramatically from what it used to be, let's say 2 years, 3 years back, definitely hold a lot of promise. The big question here, and at times we underestimate that, is the time that it takes to repair. What we actually don't understand is that it could take longer, but the kind of returns that you could get are phenomenal, right? I mean, from 8 rupees it could move to 12, which is its 52-week high, and that's almost like a 50% move. But for that, couple of triggers that you need to look at. Essentially, right now, the interest from the nature of a shareholding pattern, if you see, it's largely by a few ETFs, the ones that track probably the energy sector globally and all, from Vanguard and all. And I remember there's not much of mutual fund play at all in this. I mean, it's more of banks which have had to probably convert their debt into equity, and they're holding that. And then, of course, there's a family holding from the Sanghvis and things like that. So, the shareholding pattern is something which tells you that there's still a lot of retail ownership in this name. And that would probably mean that every rise would probably see some exit from people who have been holding it for too long. The fatigue will probably represent on the screen. Interestingly, the debt restructuring that they're talking about is underway, and the rights issue probably was the first big step in that. But they still have a 100% pledge on that minuscule under 15% holding, Nigel. So I believe that there's some more way to go to indicate that the repair is finally going to start impacting. So I don't want a situation where people buy in and then they lose patience that nothing's happening. But as and when that happens, of course, it will be evident in the numbers first. The Friday move probably was something which did catch everybody's attention, given the fact that on Thursday there was hardly any volume, just 3 odd crores or something, as you pointed out rightly. So there could be some buying that's happening from more risk-taking investors or long-term investors. But we'll have to wait for the metrics to change, for the fundamentals to change, which is not yet getting fully reflected in the numbers, Nigel.
And if you guys remember, Suzlon was it used to be, I mean, the name used to be taken in the same sort of level as L&T. Yeah. I mean, actually, it used to be...
part of the Nifty.
I mean, part of the Nifty, I think the market cap of Suzlon was also, I don't think anywhere close to, I don't remember now, this is 2008, 2007. But it was a big one. The first mover in the wind energy space. Of course, Mr. Tanti, the late Mr. Tanti now, really, I mean, very, very ambitious. But like so many other infrastructure stories at that time, what I think did them in was, of course, debt. Debt to acquire companies much larger than themselves. And of course, the market turned very, very sharply downwards. But that's Suzlon for you. We'll take a quick break here. We'll come back with the pre-opening rates, which is about 4 minutes away. We'll also have Anand Agarwal of Sterlite Technologies to